Hello everyone, welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at the Mark of Athena, Chapter 18. Now, I'm going to go through this fast because the last one was so long. It starts off with Annabeth checking in with Percy. Hey, you're going to be okay. What are you going to do? He's like, I'm just going to go swimming. I'm going to get in the ocean, just think for a while and ask some water spirits some questions. So they go off. The men's team has already left. So it's Annabeth, Piper, and Hazel. And they're walking around Charleston, walking around the ocean, and just kind of enjoying the weather, looking around. I mean, Piper's pretty scared because she's seen this place before. She's like in her mirror, dagger. Hazel looks a little nervous, I think, like usual. But Annabeth's just kind of walking and thinking. Well, they get to the point where they can see off in the distance some ghost, something that's there. And Piper, I think Piper sees it first. She's like, there. And Hazel looks and Hazel's like, that's not a ghost. Ghosts don't glow like that. But then Piper just kind of gets pulled forward. Or, whether or not it's something pulling her or herself. But she almost gets hit by a horse in a cart. But she walks forward, and Annabeth and Hazel chase after her. And Piper's like, you. And it comes out, oh, it's Venus or Aphrodite. They're kind of the same in Greek and Roman culture. It's Piper's mom. And Piper's mom comes up and says, oh, hi, ladies. Would you like to have tea? And so they follow Aphrodite to some place, and they have tea, which Hazel and Annabeth don't eat very much. I don't think Piper does either. At one point, Piper throws a scone. But Aphrodite invites him to tea, and Annabeth feels so jealous looking at Aphrodite because she's so beautiful. But she knows that's just part of the jealousy that comes from the god. Anyways, so they're having tea, and Aphrodite is just talking about all sorts of different things. Talking about the town, how she loves Charleston, about the love and war and how they're connected, and she starts sharing memories of the past and how like the Civil War kind of started, and it started from this town and all the different handsome and beautiful people that were there. And then she also asks Annabeth if she actually just assumes, oh, Annabeth, you've already told your friends about the fight you had with your mother, right? And Annabeth is like, no, I haven't. But Aphrodite doesn't really worry about that because she just shares everything. And she talks about how the Romans kind of took everything from Athena and made her into this Minerva. And Athena was like the most special god. Athena was the god of the city. And when Rome took it over and they took Athena, they really took away all her power, like in war. And even though Minerva is about cleverness and Minerva is about crafting or inventions and things like that, it wasn't quite the same as Athena. And so Athena really hates the Romans, and she always wants to kill them, like we talked about before. And Aphrodite drops a bomb, and she says that the Athenian children were always the ones that started the war between the Greeks and the Romans. It was always them planning and doing something. And Annabeth is like, oh yeah, it probably was. Oh my goodness. And man, that was a shocker. So Annabeth and Aphrodite, they talk about some statue, right? A statue was taken from Athena. Something was done to it. All of Athena's children have tried to find it, but none of them have been able to. She has this coin that has like this spiritual tie to the statue because the statue wants to be found. And so how can they use this link from the coin to find the statue? And how everyone else has always failed. But here at Charleston, at this Fort Sumter, there's a map. and that map will help them start off on their journey to find the statue. And that's kind of how it ends. Some Roman eagles start flying by, and they are their time's up. Leo's decoy failed or didn't last as long as they would hope, and the eagles are coming for him. Vocabulary. Siesta. Siesta is a Spanish word, I believe, and that just means like a nap, maybe an afternoon nap. Facade. Facade can be like a cover or like a mask. Like maybe you're really angry, but you put on a facade. Yeah, guys, I'm so happy. I want to. Okay, something like that. Maybe it was Piper and Raina, little something like that. A facade. But it can also be like the front of a house. And if you think of like Roman architecture, or the South in America, had a lot of pillars and columns. The front of their houses were very beautiful, and they had this very beautiful kind of front that they would have in the front. Inevitable means you can't stop it. It will happen. There's no way to change it. Nibbled is to take a small bite. Hazel nibbled on her cookie, and she actually had crumbs on her chin. Heart rendering. Render is to rip apart or cut apart. Heart rendering. Aphrodite says there are heart rendering times ahead. Giddy is really happy. But it could also be maybe Aphrodite was drinking some wine, and she was a little extra happy because the wine kind of affected her brain. So that could be giddy, but it could just be really happy. Like on Christmas morning, you could feel really giddy. Nouveau day, that's French, so if I don't pronounce it right, I'm so sorry. That's like new god. And there's one, Mithras, I think, was kind of a new god in the Roman kind of culture, and he just kind of had this attitude and atmosphere, and it was a little too much for Aphrodite. Discussion question. I didn't really talk about this so much in the summary, but when they sit down for tea time, Aphrodite is like, "Oh, Annabeth, we must do something with your hair." And Piper's like, "Oh my goodness, Mom, stop it." And Aphrodite looks at, "Oh, Hazel, your outfit is horrendous." And Hazel's like, "Huh? What's wrong with it?" She doesn't get anything. And Hazel even has like crumbs on her cheeks, on her chin, but she doesn't really care about her appearance that much. And Piper's like, "Oh, Mom, you're embarrassing me. Please stop." She's like, "Hey, if you don't like my advice, that's fine, but your friends might like my beauty tips." And so Piper feels really embarrassed. Have you ever, or has your mother or father ever embarrassed you? What was that like? What happened? Oh man, I can think of a few stories, and I'm going to share one really embarrassing moment that my mother and father did to me when I was little. Oh, maybe I'll share two. Of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.